LS motors sound so crap. It's like listening to a bunch of bogans talking.
Seeing it down the road of the fucking toilets, the fucking dude blokes doing a trucking down fucking Gosford and that. Yeah, fucking down Bush Drive.
Alright, so this is in regards to a video I did with Harrop Engineering recently about improving supercharger efficiency, I should say. And classic comment. Doing other changes when porting the supercharger negated any proof the porting did any good. Make one change, test it, not several changes and claim the porting did any good. If you actually watch the video, that's exactly what we did. We made a change, tested it, saw the difference, and then made another change. In the video, doesn't they show the ported... Yeah, before and after, showing intake mods, all the rest of it. That's the exact premise of the video. But wait, it gets better. He was even changing the tune between mods. So this video proved nothing. Of course he was changing the tune between mods, you moron. How else, what else are you going to do on the dyno? What's the point? You just go there with one loading internet tune and just keep making changes. Change hardware, change this. Maybe add a turbo and just run the same tune. So hang on, if you're allowing the engine to breathe better, you're not actually allowed to take advantage of that and alter the tune. That's the point of it. Don't you just love it when people comment who can't even count to 10? I mean, this is classic internet. So we've got a video here of a Typhoon running a 969. 969 is closer, and we've obviously said this is a 9-second car. 969 is closer to a 10-second car than a 9-second car. When you round it to the nearest whole number, very misleading. So apparently it's a 10-second car, not a 9-second car. Just like 2 + 2 = 5. I always laugh, when does it run 9s and is a 9-second car? They seem to have this weird logic where unless it's running like a 9.0 or a 9.1, that's not a 9-second car if it's any higher. And why are you rounding it up? I don't understand this thing. It's just dumbass 101. After something a little more streetable, LOL. It's got front runners on it. If you put front runners on a street car, you're a idiot. Well, it's got front runners on it because it's got slicks on the back. Like, hello? 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 Go do some research, man. You can't run radials. You can, but it's not great. Run radials and slicks on a decent high-powered car and then just see how nice that car is to drive. She might 200k an hour. Might start to wander in the top end. A lot. It's very unsafe. You'll even see owners of tracks come up to guys and say, you know, you shouldn't be running those radials because the car literally starts moving around the top end. It's trying to steer from the back of the car, effectively. Must have ran out of footage of LS's outrunning a Barra. LS motors are so shit, sounds like your grandmother farting in a bathtub. Well, I don't know, I've never actually experienced that, mate, so if you're saying that from first hand, I'll have to take your word for it. Drag races are about times and not who gets over the line first. What?
Dude, I almost had you.
Now, you see this story, something about boom gates with breathalyzer set to be trialled in Australia. So, effectively, if you park your car... Oh, they won't let you in the car park? Or out? We'll be out of the car park. Out of the car park. So if you want to exit the car park, you've got to... I guess you've got to breathe into some sort of tester that proves that you're under the... That you're fit to drive the lead. 0.05 limit and you can go home. I mean, people were saying, imagine if some guy fails the test, imagine the queue banking up.
I'm just waiting for a mate.
Can you imagine these idiots? You'd get drunk idiots. How long will be before you see, you'll be queuing up there, people will be in the queue, some bloke will have his arse crack hanging out of the window, trying to fart into the machine. I mean, this is Australia, come on. For idiots. Do you really reckon this will work? Yeah, just leave it to the police.
Just wondering how the collision with your car happened, mate. What collision?
Did you see at the recent Summer Nats? Was it Summer Nats 32? The Aussies got back their Burnout world record. I've been hanging for this record, man. It's good that it's come back down under, because I was losing a bit of sleep over that one. 126 cars. I swear I saw one video, there was an RX-7 I think it was, or another car. There was a couple of cars there, I swear they were not doing burnouts. No, I saw a few the tyres moving.
Wasn't even letting up the tyres, but then after a while, I mean, how can you tell? There's that much smoke, you can't see which car's doing a burnout and which isn't.
But that's not the important bit. I saw a bit of backlash in the newspaper, well, online.
Oh, especially in Canberra.
People told people who live in Canberra. It looks like the Green Vegan Cyclist Police are not impressed with this. OMG, this is not world record, it's stupidity. If I got 240 tyres and set them on fire, I'd be likely to hit with a fine from the EPA. Well, that's not really the same, man, lighting tyres on fire. I mean, if you're burning shit, then
Next comment.
rubber smoke, anyway. What about the record for amount of people that were treated for smoke inhalation?
Better ban the event, I reckon.
Should we be promoting this behaviour?
Yeah, man, that's it.
Why is Guinness allowing this? This is hurting our environment. Hashtag shame on you.
Just think of the children, eh?
Pollution, waste of resources, and just downright Bougainville.
Gazing in. Always fucking gazing in, mate, always.
Rubber toxins, smoke, cancer. Totally useless, should be banned, greenhouse gas. Surely, I'm surprised someone doesn't mention climate change. This is causing climate change. That'll be the next thing.
Yeah.
Grow up, people. Complete Bogan Act. Why isn't the EPA doing its job? So I saw this the other day online. I reckon it's pretty cool how technology evolves, and with the old VL Commodores back in the day, for some reason it's still pretty popular to have the Bellina hubcaps. I think with the Bellina models, I've never been that into VLs, but they're pretty sought after.
Yeah, I think they're about $1,000 a set.
Well, obviously hubcaps don't last like an alloy wheel does. You know, they get smashed. People are selling really good condition hubcaps for big dollars anyway. I saw someone was they were scanning these and actually saying you could go and get these 3D printed. I thought that's pretty funny. Just get brand new ones. That's pretty cool actually. Probably may not might annoy the people who have genuine sets, but it's just
kind of funny though.
It's just funny. They're hubcaps, but they're actually sought after.
Yeah, you're getting a part of the car printed that really at the time was so not important.
I know they're just realistically just crappy hubcaps, but they've got a bit of a following.
Commodore is the new winner, with more power from the standard fuel-injected 6, the stunning turbo, and the gutsy V8.
Have a look at this kid. I say kid because, I mean, most Toyota 86s are driven by younger people. He's driven on the wrong side of the road, obviously trying to be Mr. Togue, and just cleaned up this nice old Holden. No, ridiculous. Ridiculous accident that should never have happened. Completely avoidable. But I think the funnier thing was the comments about the, these extra powerful 86s. They should be banned. High performance cars. High performance. I mean, these things are blisteringly quick. So here's a comment by the poor bloke that owns the old Holden wagon. His car's pretty much stuffed. Even he said, hopefully some of these foolish hotheads see what can happen when they think the mountain roads are their personal playground. Couldn't agree more. Idiots. But I mean, look at the comments by some of these about this car. Because the 86s, it's always comments by people who don't know anything about cars, just look at a car and probably think that's a sports car that's really powerful. And in Australia, we have very strict laws about probationary drivers and what they can and can't drive. They basically can't drive anything that really... it depends where you live, though. There's different laws in every state.
I know, but I mean, that's why they're allowed to drive these cars, because effectively they don't have a lot of power.
Just get going with some of the comments.
What happened to the laws against P-platers driving high-powered cars? This has got to be satire. Them things in factory tune will put most V8s to shame.
Yeah, this guy's stacking the PISS.
This one's pretty accurate. Has 25 horsepower car, still loses control.
They're actually the most... When you see on paper, let's say compared to a Honda, they might make similar power on paper and drive the two cars, and you're just like... They feel when you drive a Toyota 86, it doesn't... In terms of like acceleration, it doesn't feel any better than like a first-gen Mazda MX-5. They're that slow. Like, that is horrendous.
rubbish. For a current generation car, it just shows how shit that Subaru boxer motor is. You can have some hate mail now. And you own a Subaru, so that's... Mate, that Subaru of mine is a lag monster. All of these people downgrading 86s, but really have no idea. And he's got the emoticon. For their overall weight and power ratio, it's quite sufficient. Sufficient for what? When I see people write that, I'm not... Yeah, look, the 86 has its place, but people who say that they've got enough power, it's like, what have you ever driven? If that car's got ample power, what... Yeah, exactly. What the hell have you driven? Seriously, because any other car on the road is quicker. It's quicker pretty much. I mean, imagine if they hopped in one of those hybrid Camrys.
Whoa! Oh, shit. Sure did. No mommies. You're gonna go viral a little bit,
This literally has to be the dumbest road rule, and I could understand if it was from 50 years ago, but it's a new road rule where people have got to slow down for the police car. If there's a police car on the side of the road, I understand in theory the point behind it. They've had issues, to be fair, they've had issues with police being injured and stuff. And yeah, because people are so dumb they can't even drive past someone on the side of the road without looking at them. Oh shit, I'll just drive into it. People see police cars though, just to interrupt you. People see police cars and just shit themselves. If they see a police car on the other side of the road, the rubbernecking starts, or they just slam on the brakes. And you'll be behind the police car. Some dude just sitting there having a cigarette on the side of the road, 100 metres away. We haven't explained the rule yet, maybe. Well, so you've got to slow down, obviously, from 100 zone 110 zone to 40. 40 k's. Well, in South Australia, I think it's 25, although they were going to change it back to 40, I think. But so you're just going to... You've got, it compounds, so people start braking. Happened to me a few weeks ago on Eastlink. I couldn't see the police. All of a sudden, all the traffic just starts braking, and I'm like, has someone run onto the road or something? It was that severe. And yeah, it's someone pulled over for speeding. It's like, isn't that more dangerous than the person who was probably doing 101.6 in 100 zone? I mean, let's be fair, Australia, if you've never been to Australia, we have the worst drivers on the road here. They're just idiots. They drive slow, completely distracted. Everyone's a rubbernecker. I mean, they can't, fair enough, if you're going down the road and some chick was on the other side of the road and she had her cans out for all to see, you're probably going to slow down and have a look, right? But if there's just some car on the side of the road with the bonnet up, just randomly, has nothing to do with your side of the road, now I've got to slow down and look at that. Literally hitting the brakes and you're braking, like, what are you braking for? I thought this was a good comment in regards to this rule. The one underlying message that seemingly will never change from any Australian government, they couldn't care less about the driving standards here in this country. Car control is irrelevant. Speeding, however, is murder.
Murder, death, kill.
That is so true. And nothing, they get up there and go, how can we reduce the road toll? I don't know what we're doing wrong.
Just keep slowing it down.
They just keep doing the same shit. They never ever, I can't believe you can get your license, a full license in this country at 18, and when you're 80, you can still drive on that same license.
Yeah, you've never been checked.
Driving a car is pretty damn dangerous. I think if you've got a 10-year license, when you go and actually you go and pay the money to get your license renewed, you should actually have to go out on the road and do another driving test. It would actually make them more money.
Yeah, I know.
When you think about it, it's insane. The only reason the road toll comes down is because cars are safer.
Oh, 100%.
There is no other reason, because our driving standards are getting worse and worse.
And the tolerance on speeding is so low here. You've got people who... The worst thing on the road is slow driving. It does my head in. They're just driving 10 or 20 k's under the limit everywhere because they're paranoid about the speed limit, I'm guessing.
I was driving in an 80 zone.
And you end up having to look at your speedo all the time. And then people will go, oh, you're a bad driver. It's ridiculous. Of course you're looking at your speedo. You can do 63 and a 60 and you're done. It's insane. They should be looking at the road, not the speedo. If someone's driving, if someone's doing way over the speed limit, fine, book them. But the tolerance is insane.
There's plenty of drivers in Australia who, I think the term is bonnet drivers. Yeah. So instead of looking, you should be looking as far as you can to see what's going to happen in 10 seconds. They just look at their bonnet. They basically look at their bonnet or the car in front of them. That's how they drive. Like, me.
Yeah, you see stuff happening and you watch the car in front of you and you think, they haven't even seen it. They should have seen this like 20 seconds ago. And all of a sudden they're causing a problem on the road.
Speaking of shit drivers. How's this old fart with the giving the bird? What a moron. This bloke is cruising along and all of a sudden he comes up on a car doing, I don't know, a lazy 40 k's under the speed limit. Of course he came up on his
Do you know how
fast you would come up on someone? And then I've had this happen to me, and then they carry on like you're tailgating them, and you think, well, of course I'm tailgating him. I'm constantly slowing down.
But if you see the vision, he wasn't that close to him.
No.
He didn't get that close to him. Then he waits patiently, does the right thing, double white lines, wait until it's safe to overtake. He overtakes the guy, and he just pulls out the...
We've had that exact same thing happen to us too.
Yeah, I know.
And why are you giving the finger? Because I overtook you because you're driving 30 under the limit. I mean...
Then to make it even worse...
And look at old mate's response.
I know. Did you see the old A Current Affair or whatever it was? Reply?
I think that the way that he came up behind me and the way that he accelerated away from me, I think that he was driving dangerous.
He's having a big sook that this guy came up on him at light speed. Well, no shit when you're doing half the speed limit.
But police say both drivers behaved badly.
Both drivers are behaving badly. What's the guy behind doing wrong?
Nothing.
He's come up on an insanely slow car. That person driving should be booked for going too slow, which you can be. It's breaking the law.
Well, you can't be, according to that thing there, you can't be booked on a...
Sorry.
I understand that on that road.
That only applies on a freeway.
But don't get upset if you're doing half the speed limit that someone's going to come flying up on you. Like, I bet you this old bastard didn't even know what the speed limit was, and even if he did, he doesn't give a shit.
Nah.
I'm surprised he actually noticed the guy behind him. How many people, like, you're sitting there high-beaming them and they're just like... They got no idea you're driving behind them.
Speaking of morons, have a look at this drop kick.
It could be a scene straight out of Highway Patrol. Caleb Camp sat on the grass, a sorry figure surrounded by police and smashed cars. But what happened on Cambridge Street in Kurrajong? Best let the man himself explain it.
And yeah, I was only driving slow, but yeah, put my foot down a bit and then yeah, I turned, but didn't see a car coming around here and yeah, seen him once I turned. Boom, collided.
Crashes his girlfriend's car, not insured, not registered, and then like he's posing for photos with his crash. Oh my god.
He didn't seem too cut up about it.
She's gonna say this on news for sure, and she ain't gonna like it.
You see Tesla introduced a new feature on their car. What is the point in this? It's, can you believe it? It's introducing, it makes fart noises.
Falcon heavy, ludicrous fart, neurostink, and boring fart.
Fart noises?
Fart noises. Why would you want that in your car?
Hasn't VW been doing that for like the last decade? What about the new Supra?
Ugh, so controversial.
I actually don't mind it.
Oh, the more I've looked at it, the looks just doesn't not look right. The re-render especially, I don't really have seen any angle of this car where I look at it and think it looks great. The BMW obviously that it's based on is a lot better looking car.
Yeah, but everyone's getting all cut up that it's got the BMW engine in it. The BMW engine's quite good. That 3.6 6 is really good. I think the thing is the Supra fanboys don't understand. The Supra isn't like f***ing a hypercar.
No, and
at the end of the day,
it's not the mid-90s anymore either.
It's a half affordable sports car. It's not designed as like... It's not like in GTR money.
If you don't know anything about it, Toyota's they've got basically a partnership with BMW. They've released a new version of the Supra. It's running, it's running a BMW straight 6-cylinder engine, turbocharged. I don't know what else it's got in common with it. I think obviously the chassis is...
It's running the Z4. It's a chassis. It's basically a BMW with a different body shell on it.
There's a lot of things on the car that are extremely different. I mean, it's not like the 86 and Subaru combo where the car is just identical, but very different cars. At the end of the day, how can you really be that critical of a manufacturer making a rear-wheel drive sports car? Yeah, and it's not powerful enough. That's also the issue.
Yeah, but it's not going to sell in high volume. Like at the end of the day, like just be thankful they've actually got a sports car out.
They're still making cars like this. I mean,
better than driving a bloody Prius.
Look at brands like Mitsubishi. They have not done anything exciting in the best part of more than a decade now, they haven't made anything. It's junk. The whole lineup's rubbish compared to what they used to make. At least Toyota's having a go.
They finally stopped selling their 15-year-old Evo.
I know. That looked crap from day one, that thing.
I mean, I've seen people say, why hasn't it got a 2JZ in it? And they're dead serious. We've heard things, things like emissions and...
Things kind of evolved too.
Yeah, I know. Like, geez, what are you going to honestly put a 20-year-old engine? I'm sure someone will put a 2J in one.
Oh, they will. I'm sure someone will put an Alice in one. So Ford's released, I guess, the final version of what's going to be the Shelby Super Snake GT, I think it's called.
Yeah, so I think they're 2.9, aren't they? 2.9 litre supercharged. What engine's in them? A 5 litre or a 5.2?
5 litre still, I think.
5 litre. But it's got the bigger 2.9 litre blower on them, I think. Pretty awesome looking car.
522 kilowatts, which I think is around 700 horsepower.
Yeah, it's about that. It's about sort of...
Sounds unreal. But the front end, they've made it wider. They've kind of got wider guards on the front, and it looks unreal. The front end on the car looks so...
Yeah, they've got a wide body front end rig.
Yeah,
I've seen a few in production.
It looks so good on the road, I reckon. I highly doubt it'll come out here.
No, you'll be able to buy them through somewhere like Mustang Motorsport.
I'm not sure about if it will come out here, but I reckon that's unreal. I mean, for all the shit people will, oh, it's a Mustang, this and that. I mean, who the hell wouldn't want that car and drive that around? Looks good, goes even better.
You see, Subaru are still
persisting with that Nugget engine. Oh, that's going to cop some fanboy abuse.
It's not that bad. The EJ...
it's no 4G.
Well, you can't buy 4G though. The EJ25 is still around. 340 horsepower to that STI. But that's very limited production. I think they're only bringing in 200 examples into North America.
I was going to say, that's American only.
Yeah, but I think they're only selling like 200 of them. It's not like it's common. It's got factory intercooler water spray. It's like back in the old... when they have that on the... was it the Bug-Eye STI? One of them.
Yes.
One of those STIs had a factory water spray. I don't think they've had it for years, but it's not a bad rig. But I mean, you kind of need that power now. They're too heavy, these cars.
The cars are very heavy.
But I reckon that'd be a pretty good thing to drive. I know it's long in the tooth, but at the end of the day, like I just said before, you've got to be kind of thankful these days that manufacturers are still selling these sorts of cars.
Oh, exactly. I mean, look at Mitsubishi. They've got rid of the Evo.
You're really butthurt about the Evo, aren't you?
I never would, even my wildest dreams would buy an Evo X, so I don't really care about an Evo X. I think they look...
Yeah, it's just how they haven't got anything else. Be nice if they just released...
Oh, they haven't got effectively an evolution of the evolution. They haven't kind of...
But they don't even have like a car like a 350Z. Like, they don't even have like a 6-cylinder...
They don't sell anything, I don't think, even remotely...
Just SUVs?
They don't sell anything, I don't think, even catered for any type of, like...
Triton Ute?
Car enthusiast, nothing.
No. They're all sort of family work vehicles. See, in Australia, the next federal election is coming up...
I think it's in May.
May, I think.
Yeah.
But unlike America, where their lead up to each election starts about 15 years before the election, Australia is basically what you'd call...
We have like a 6-week... What do you call
campaign?
Yeah. 6 weeks? What?
It's 6 weeks, I think. The American system's just farcical. But anyway, Labor have said they're going to... Was it $1 billion? $1 billion.
That's combined, but yeah, it's something about...
To invest in basically hydrogen technology. Because everyone... I can kind of see the point of it though, because everyone goes on about EV this, EV that. In Australia, EVs, you might have noticed on the map, we're quite a big country. And we're not that highly populated. So it's not uncommon to drive, a few hundred kilometres and you won't see anyone.
I think almost on a worldwide scale, Australia will be one of the slowest countries, I think, to take up EVs.
Yeah, I think hybrids...
Just because of the infrastructure issue and the size of our country.
Hybrids will be bigger in Australia long term, I think, for a long while yet. Because EVs...
I was surprised to hear that news about hydrogen. I didn't think it was... I know it's being pushed in Japan and other countries a bit, but I think it's taken a long time to get to this point because it's been very expensive and
it's very expensive.
Difficult to engineer to the point where I guess it could be mainstream.
Yeah, but I don't know how it would support. I don't think it would support an everyday fuel that everyone uses. I don't know how realistic it is, but I guess fossil fuels is going to die at some stage.
Well, I mean, it's just interesting. If you haven't looked it up, look up about this funding, and I think it was going to start in Queensland, but it's like with...
You know who did a hydrogen? Didn't the RX-8 have a hydrogen car? Wasn't that in recent years they did something about an RX-8 and a hydrogen?
An RX-8 was running
a hydrogen rotary.
It was hydrogen rotary, yeah. Because obviously emission issues with the rotary.
Did it get recalled?
Was one way to keep it alive, I guess. I don't know, I'm a bit of a skeptic when it comes to that in Australia. Nothing ever seems to happen, like most...
it's always trials and, well, you know, little tastes of it, but long term,
they'll spend 5 years doing a study to see if it's feasible. When you're talking about governments, the wheels move very slow.
And usually backwards.
These 12 women have come to London, England, looking for true love. When they meet a real Prince Charming.
Our boyfriend's someone big.
No way.
It can't be.
This could be a true Cinderella story.
Best bloke you're gonna ever meet. Not no more.